And hello, everyone. Welcome to Lizzie Faye Loves Books and friends. Happy end of February, which is going to be the beginning of March tomorrow. So we are super excited to bring to you almost half of the hosts for March Mystery Madness. You're only seeing 5 right now. We're anticipating at least one more in a few minutes. And then we have 2 live shows today. We have another one this evening on the Bookish Bryants channel, and that will be at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So welcome to my guests. As you guys, hopefully you know me. If this is your first time here, I'm Elizabeth, and my channel here is Lizzie Faye Loves Books. So going across the screen, we've got Sarah, the Bookish Knitter, and she will, I'm going to give everybody a chance to talk in just a minute, but we also have Janelle from Too Fond of Books. Both of them are Canadians. And then we have Jen, who I believe is also a Canadian. Is that correct? Yes. And then we have Laura, who is from New Jersey. And then I am here in Florida. So we have a very awesome group today. And we are super excited. There are at least a couple of other hosts who are chatting in the comments. We've got the Bookish Bryants, and they are going to be hosting another live show this evening and introducing a lot more of the hosts as well. We're only allowed 6 on here at a time, so that's why we split it up into 2 different shows. So how about, since let's see, well, gosh, almost all of you guys are veteran hosts. Jen and Laura and Sarah have all been co-hosting March Mystery Madness now. I think this is the 4th year. And Janelle is our newbie this year. In fact, this is her anniversary, just about your anniversary on BookTube, because you first started out, your first video was a March Mystery Madness TBR. So do you want to start, Janelle, since...
Sure. Yeah, I'm so excited to be here. Thank you, Elizabeth, for asking me to co-host. She's right. My very first video when I joined BookTube last year was my TBR for March Mystery Madness, and I was so excited to find that there were booktubers who loved mysteries as much as I do. It was a whole new world, and so yeah, that was super exciting. I am really excited for this month. I plan to do a video every day, so we'll see how that goes. And I have a fun game that I created to play on the channel, but then also I've got the game board that everybody can download. So I'm calling it my Marvelous and Magnificent March Mystery Madness M&M Manuscript Matchup. And so the tagline is, choosing your next mystery has never been so delicious.
Wow. How many M's is that total? In that
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So
wow.
That's impressive. It matches the number of prompts.
That is impressive. Wow. All right, Sarah. Well, I don't mean to cut you off. We got plenty of time. Anything else?
Oh no. And then I was just gonna say, I'm looking forward to kind of seeing what everybody else has got for the month, for watching all of your other videos that are coming up. And I'm going to do some live reading sprints too on Saturdays. So if you are into joining me for some reading sprints, that would be awesome.
Go ahead and tell us the times for those.
Oh, sure. I'm going to do those the first and third Saturday at 7 p.m. Central Time, and the second and fourth at 1 p.m. Central. So those of you, if you're from the UK, that one might work better with your schedule, so you don't have to be up in the middle of the night.
Awesome. Awesome. And I just this afternoon determined when I was going to do some live reading sprints myself, and I put it on the announcements on the Discord, but I'll talk about me in a little bit. So Sarah, all right, you're up.
So yeah, this is, I think, like you said, my 3rd or 4th year co-hosting this, and I am the resident romance reader, but I've always loved mysteries. I think I read mysteries well before I ever read romance. So I am super excited, but I like to bring, even though they're not true mysteries, the romantic suspense, I do love those. True. And I do love a good thriller. So, you know, there's lots of subgenres within mystery, which is what I love about it, that there really is something for everybody, you know. And so I'm going to have 2 live shows on my channel. There's one next Saturday on March the 6th at 3 p.m. I've got a couple people coming on. And then 2 weeks after that, on the 20th, I am going to be doing a live show, because I am hosting a group read for the book The Bachelor Girl's Guide to Murder by Rachel McMillan. And so if anyone wants to join for that, if you read the book as well and you want to join for the live show, that will be on the 20th of March.
And we have our last arrival, and I'm so sorry, Matt, you've probably been sitting there, and I didn't realize I had to scroll down. This is Matt, the Paperback Junky. Thank you so much for joining us today. Matt, this is his second or third year hosting, and the year that we first added a whole bunch of hosts, I did not know who he was, and I think Di saw his video where, like, the day that all of our announcements came up, he immediately got online and did a video like, oh my goodness, how did I not know about March Mystery Madness, you know? And he did so much to promote March Mystery Madness, like from the minute that he learned about it, that I was like, okay, we have to get him on the next year as a host, because he was just so excited. And so anyway, well, actually, why don't we just go ahead, Matt, since you just came on, go ahead and let me put you on the spot. Go ahead and introduce yourselves. And I don't know if you overheard, we're just kind of saying who we are and also what you have planned for your channel for this month. And you can plug your books, whatever you want to do.
Oh, well, I'm Matt. Hello. How is everybody? Good. Wow, nothing. Bunch of crickets in here. Come on, guys.
You're frozen. You're kind of freezing in and out a little bit, but we can hear you.
It's really bad. Okay. No, I think it's been 3 years.
Yeah.
I've been doing it with you guys, and this is the first year that it's felt really like very, what's the word I'm looking for here? Like there seems to be a lot of community this year, like with all this stuff that we've been planning and everything like that. And it's been really, really amazing. The Discord's awesome. If you guys aren't on the Discord, get over and do that, because that's been tons of fun. I'm probably going to be doing some live streams if I could get my internet situation taken care of a little bit better. But I've never been involved in a reading sprint. Can you explain what that is?
Well, the first one I ever saw on YouTube, I thought was kind of awkward, but once you get used to the idea of it, it's pretty fun. It's just basically you come on here and you can invite 2 or 3 people to come on with you, and usually people will chat for a little bit, and then they set a timer and say, okay, everybody, we're going to read for 20 minutes or 15 minutes or whatever. And so you basically just do like right now, if we were just going to have a reading sprint, we could just pick up our books and start reading, and everybody who's out there watching us would, ideally would sit there and read as well. Now, whether they actually do or not, we don't know, but we're on the spot. So, we would kind of have to. So yeah, it's just a fun way to read with each other. So yeah,
my internet could probably handle that. So a lot of that.
Very cool. All right, Jen, tell us about yourself and what we can expect to see from you this month.
So yeah, this is my 4th year, I think, co-hosting, and 5th year as a participant. And March Mystery Madness is one of the ways that I found the non-fiction part of BookTube originally back in 2017. So this always has a place in my heart just for that reason. But I focus not exclusively, but in a big way on crime comics. And around mid-month, I'm going to have a live stream where we'll talk about some of those. I'm just double checking what we can get free so that people who want to give it a try but don't want to make a financial commitment can join in on that. But I'm also a big fan of any mystery that contains footnotes and endnotes where the author talks about their research. So if you want the comics or the nerd factor, that's what I'm here for.
That is awesome. Yeah, Jen comes up with the most interesting things. If you guys aren't subscribed to her channel, you will see totally different stuff on her channel than you see on a lot of people, at least a lot of people like in our circles, I guess you could say, the people that I watch a lot of, who just, you guys know, you tend to see, like, you kind of get in a circle of people on BookTube and you tend to like start kind of reading some of the same books. Jen's are like completely different, just all different and so unique, so interesting. And I will say, Jen, I think you are responsible for bringing a lot of people to March Mystery Madness that would not have known about it otherwise, because your watchers are like you said, a lot of nonfiction people and stuff. And so thank you for that, because you have brought a lot of people to March Mystery Madness. So thanks a lot. All right.
The joy.
Yes. Excellent. All right. So Laura and I have known each other back. I mean, we've been on BookTube now, what, like 6 years? You've been on here like maybe 7 years. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah. And she was one of the first people I started watching. She does scrapbooking and journaling and all kinds of stuff. And she's just so amazing. I'm just in awe of how she has raised triplets and she can still manage to do scrapbooking and reading and journaling and crafting and all these things. And she's just awesome. So tell us about anything you want to tell us about.
I am doing a read along on my channel. I'm reading the Theodore Boone Kid Lawyer book, and I have it up on my Goodreads if you want to. Elizabeth book she just showed. I'm reading this. It's up on Goodreads. It's Goodreads read with Mom Two Triplets 04, and I have a thread up. I have it separated by 7 days, so we could read it all along and comment as we read. So hopefully I will get this done. And it's also for middle grade March, so that's why I'm reading this as well. So
excellent. Have you read it before?
I have not read it before, so
oh, it's great.
I have read John Grisham before. He's one of my favorite authors, The Firm and Chamber and all that stuff, way back in the 80s. So yeah.
Yeah, this is a great book for middle grade March Mystery Madness, as my friend Elizabeth Tyree coined the term. It's about a boy whose parents are both lawyers, and they set up an office for him in their law office, and he legitimately helps people with cases that don't require an actual bar approved lawyer or whatever. Like, he goes to animal court, and but he's like serious. I mean, it's not just like silly kid mysteries. I mean, it's real life stuff, and he actually kind of gets himself in danger at times. So it's a great series. I've read, I think, 4 of them. And did you say, when are you starting it? You're doing over a 7-day period. So what's your start and end date?
March 1st. So I have it on but you could read it the whole month. So
okay.
It's a whole month to read. I always fall behind. So my plan is to finish it by March 31st.
Okay.
So we'll have it separated for 7 days. So hopefully I can read it fast, but I don't know.
Okay. Well, and I plan on doing a whole video where I just talk about everybody's read along. The one I'm doing is because of my In Real Life book club, The Guest List by Lucy Foley. I didn't even realize. Yes, thank you. Laura's got hers too. See, great minds think alike. I'm going to read this over the whole month. It's about a 300-page book, so I've got it tabbed in 4 sections, set about 75 pages each. And so my goal is going to be to read about 75 pages a week. Of course, you can read it faster or slower. And I've set up threads on, at least one thread so far, on the Mystery Madness Goodreads group. Right now, it just says who's joining in. And then I will do 4 more threads for a discussion of each section. And you can read it at your own pace, but like she said, just come back and chat about each section when you get to it. So Matt, are you doing a read along this year? I know last year you read Pulp. Are you going to do another one this year?
Yeah, shockingly, Pulp didn't go over as well as I thought.
I read it.
Yeah, I was actually just thinking about it. I think I'm going to do. Is anyone doing Death in the Clouds, the Agatha Christie book?
Ooh,
I don't think so.
I
that's a
think
great
I'll do
one,
that.
Matt. I would totally reread that with you guys.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, we'll do that because it's like Snakes on a Plane with Perot, right?
Yeah.
That's how it goes. Yeah.
Are you talking about? Is there a book about snakes on a plane? Or are you talking about the movie Snakes on
I'm
the
talking
Plane?
about the movie.
I
Yeah.
know. I knew a guy who was in that movie. He gets killed.
Oh
Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the same movie. Yeah, he used to work at the same theme park where I worked. Awesome.
Oh,
Okay. Then there. Oh, before I forget, let me also just mention, in case you guys out there are watching and you're not able to come back to the Bookish Bryants channel tonight to hear about everyone else's read-alongs, there are going to be some others. Of course, Courtney, the Courtagonist, always has she's got her Cozy Mystery Book Club, and I don't know what her book is going to be for this month, but Di, who also is one of the hosts, who has the Book One Cozies Club, this is the Book One Cozies Club pick for this month, A Deadly Inside Scoop, and this is an ice cream parlor mystery by Abby Collette. And the Bookish Bryants are also the first week of March doing oh my goodness, you guys, you may have to type it in there. I just told them last night that I was going to read it. It's on Hoopla. And Sarah, I know you have one too. All right, Becky or Scott, whoever's on there, tell me in the comments what you're reading so we can shout it out. But while I'm waiting on that, Sarah here is doing The Bachelor Girls Guide
to Murder. And also, I mean, this one isn't going to be as official, but I'm going to be reading The Last Resort by Janice K. Johnson, which is a Harlequin intrigue novel. So to bring in the romance in there in that one. So
awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you. So the Bookish Bryants are reading Death by Dumpling. Who's the author of that? Like Vivian Chen?
Vivian Chen.
Vivian Chen. Okay. So they're reading that March 1st through the 7th, if anybody wants to read along. And it's on Scribd, I think, not Hoop. I think I started to say Hoopla, but it's on Scribd on audio. And there may be some others, and forgive me if I don't know them. I will try to do, I will check with everybody, and then I'm going to do a whole video just about, what everybody's doing. Also, if you guys are not on Discord, get on there, check the announcements. Di has posted all of the events and things like that. So Amber, so I haven't even been looking at the comments. Amber says she's still waiting on the guest list. Amber, I thought I was going to have to wait a while. And then I looked on the sales shelf at our library and it was sitting there. So I bought it for $1. Can you believe that? It's almost like a new book and I got it for $1. And then my library copy came, but I gave it to somebody in my book club. So I understand. Have any of you guys on here read this? Isn't it supposed to be like, and then there were none? Isn't that kind of I'm pretty sure.
I think so. Like, I think I haven't read it yet, but I think like it's an island or something, but they're there for a wedding or something. But yeah, like it's got supposedly like some Agatha Christie vibes.
Awesome.
But with Lucy Foley, like one big thing with her apparently is you don't even know who is killed yet. Like you have to wait almost until the very end of the book before you even find out who the body is. So that's kind of one of her, I guess, unique things in her books that she does.
That was kind of like there was a Leon Moriarty book where you didn't know who was killed until the end either.
Oh, really?
What was that? The one they did the miniseries of.
Big Little
that had
Lies.
Reese Witherspoon in.
Big Little Lies.
Big Little Lies. Yeah. So yeah, it's like, how can you have a book when you don't even know who's been murdered? But yeah, it's a pretty cool concept.
Yeah.
All right. So let me just say hi to everybody out there who's been commenting. Let's see, I knew the Bryants were out there. Hi guys. Amber has a channel, Ambi Crafts Reads. So y'all go check her out. Colleen from Books in Every Room. She does not do videos, but she's awesome to comment. Tammy D, hello. Lisa Justice, hello. Lisa, do you have a channel? I'm trying to remember if you do or not. I'm sorry. I don't know if I've ever checked. Donna from the studio in the library. And we also have another Donna who I don't believe I know. So welcome, both Donnas. Lisa G says hello from England. What time is it there? Is it still, it was what, 5 hours? So it's not super late in England right now. So, so the Bookish Bryants are Scott and Becky, and they said they hope we have to have some Canadians on their show. I don't know. I think I got all the Canadians on this. One.
She cornered the market.
Yeah.
And we had, over in the years past, we have had a couple of people from the UK, at least as guest hosts, and even one sort of guest host that was from Australia. And then also we had Catherine from Jane Catherine on Books, who was a host for 3 years, and she was not able to host this year. So we really miss her. And for all you guys over in England or across the world, my apologies that we don't have any hosts. Next year, I'm going to try to work a little harder to find some more hosts for from the other side of the world so that we can include you guys.
My wife is from England, so that kind of counts, and she does videos with me. So
yeah, so bring her on. Is she there now? Yeah. You can bring her on.
Yeah, and she's in a nightie, and I tried to turn the camera on her, and she got all mad at me. So that's why Zoe, I'm outside right now. Yeah, Zoe. She's in the house doing stuff.
Hi, Zoe.
And I'm hiding. So I think she's watching, actually.
So we've got Lisa G. Yeah. Hello, Lisa. And who else? I'm just trying to scroll back. Debbie Faust, hello. Oh, Debbie, you are not. She says no channel for me. I'm too old for that. Debbie, you are so sweet. She has been watching me for almost about as long as I've been on here. So I appreciate you so much, Debbie. All right. So what we're going to do now. What's that?
I'm getting yelled at.
Oh.
Have you talked about her being her 90? Yeah, probably.
So there has been a new tag that was just recently created by Sarah here, the Bookish Knitter, and the Bookish Bryants, and that they have posted theirs on their channel, and it is the Clue game tag, where they took some of the characters and rooms and weapons from Clue, or in the UK, Cluedo. I don't get I'm like, I hear y'all, I know y'all say this, you call it Cluedo there. I'm like, why? But I don't get it. But anyway, that as it may, that's what they call it, Cluedo. Anyway, so they took some of those elements, not all of them, but a total of, what is it, like 12, 4 weapons, 4 people, and 4 rooms. Yes. And they have each done a tag. So I think both of you guys just sort of like threw it out there and said, anybody do it. So anybody watching, anybody who does videos, all of the hosts, everybody can do this brand new tag. So
I actually recorded mine this afternoon, so it's going to be coming up very soon.
Awesome. Yeah. So since that is a thing that is going to be happening, I thought, just for fun, I don't want to take away anything from the new tag, but I did a March Mystery Madness tag back, I don't know, the first or second year of March Mystery Madness, and I've redone it a couple of times. I didn't get to redo it last year, and I'm probably not going to redo a whole new one this year, but I thought, just for fun, I would bring back those 6 prompts and invite my guests today to show us books for those prompts. So we had a Zoom meeting last night, so I'm not just springing this on them, at this exact second. So they've had a little time to prepare. And if you didn't come up with everything, it's totally fine. Just show us what you have. And basically, it was a tag where we took the words March, Mystery, and Madness, and I have 2 prompts for each of the 3 words. So for mystery, the 2 prompts are to pick a book that has green on the cover or the word green in the title, and to pick my first year, I said, because March is St. Patrick's Day and everything, I said, pick a book that features a leprechaun or a tiny character. I realized myself how difficult that is. It's doable, but difficult. So then later I amended it to say, pick a book that has Irish elements. So that could be an Irish author or anything to do with Ireland. And, mysteries if you can, but it doesn't even have to be a mystery. It can just be a book, and it doesn't have to be a book that you've read, but you can. So whatever you have on your shelf. So I'll start and we'll go around. I was going to try to do all cozy mysteries for mine, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. So mine that have green on the cover, I have Rotten to the Core by Sheila Connolly. This is her Orchard series. There is a good bit of green on the cover. Sorry, my lighting's terrible, but it's definitely green all over. And then I have Plotting at the PTA by Laura Alden, and that's definitely full of green. So the rest of you guys, we'll just go around. Sarah, then Janelle, then Laura, then Jen, and then Matt, and tell us.
I don't have a lot of physical books. Well, okay, I do, but most of them are romance.
That's okay.
My niece comes up here yesterday, Auntie Sarah, how many books do you own? I said, I don't know, sweetheart. Don't ask such questions like that.
That's
but I got, of course, the one that I'm doing as the group read, The Bachelor Girl's Guide to Murder. I mean, a perfect green cover. I love this one, but that's the only one that I could think of off the top of my head.
Well, since this is your channel, Elizabeth, I decided to do this tag. I tried to find every single book had to be a cozy in your honor. So
wow.
The very first one is Evans Above by Reese Bowen. There's definitely green here on the cover because there's all the grass and stuff. So this is the first in her Constable Evans series. It's set in Wales. Ooh. And it's totally a cozy. Yeah, they're really fun. He is the constable in the village. And I realize cozies usually have amateur detectives, but he is the constable for the village, but they are very, very much cozies.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I haven't heard of that series. I have read at least one of her the one that she's probably more well known for. The girl who's like
Royal's Finest.
Royal's Finest, that's it.
Yeah. I think this series is from the 90s. Yeah, this one's the first one and it's from 97. But yeah, they're really cute.
Nice, awesome. Okay, Laura.
Okay, I have two. I have one for middle grade, which I just pulled. All my books are up here behind me in color order, so I was able
Yeah, you guys, her crates behind her, she's done multiple videos over the years of her. Those are her TBR crates. Are those like in your loft, right? Like on your second floor area?
My bedroom. It's like a separate room.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was thinking they were like in a loft. Yeah. So she's got all these, she did a big shelf tour like a couple of years ago, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, and showed all of those. She's got a lot of cool books.
Okay. So the middle grade book that I picked out was.
Sorry, what?
The middle grade book is called On the Run. It's book one.
Hang on, let me mute Sarah.
So no.
All right, go ahead.
By Gordon Corman. This is book one of a series that I had that's totally green.
Oh yeah.
But it's middle grade. So that's
I totally read Gordon Corman when I was in middle grade and junior high. Classic. That was awesome.
Good. And the second book that I pulled out from behind me is a YA book. I got The Body in the Woods by Henry. I love the green on the cover there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a middle grade book. No, this is a YA.
Oh, it's a YA. Okay. So Laura typically reads a lot of thrillers in addition to some middle grade and YA. So she's kind of our thriller host for this year, even though she's going more middle grade this year, which is cool. All right. So Sarah, I muted you just, so you can unmute whenever you're ready.
Sorry,
right,
my
Jen.
mother doesn't understand that I'm doing stuff.
That's okay. That's all right. All right, Jen, what have you got?
All right, for green, I have A Dangerous Crossing by Osmazea Nut Khan, which is from her Getty and Katak series. This is a series that is normally set in Toronto, and when I talk about series that have footnotes and research notes, this is one of them. This one is not actually set in Toronto. It is set on a Greek island dealing with Syrian refugees and has lengthy author's research notes in the back. So,
That's awesome.
Yeah. This is a fantastic series, by the way, if anybody's looking for mysteries with I'm trying to stop myself from saying the word fun because these deal with heavy topics, but they're fun too. And it's green. There we go.
That's funny.
Yeah.
All right, Matt, go for it. What you got for green?
I got Carter Brown's The Passionate Pagan,
Nice.
which is a Danny Boyd hard-boiled detective story about a love goddess from a pagan sex cult.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah. So there's that. It's Carter Brown books are amazing. And then for Ireland, this isn't a mystery by any means, but Ray Bradbury, Green Shadows, White Whale, about him and John Huston making Moby Dick in Ireland.
Okay.
Is Ray Bradbury Irish?
No, but they went there, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
In that book. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
Zoe threw this over.
Okay, awesome. So that's a good segue. So I'll come back around and show my Irish. I have one I'm reading. I was supposed to read. I thought I was going to read it last month, and I didn't get to it. But it's a mystery anyway. I got to read this within the first 2 weeks of the month because this is for my mystery book club. It is The Witch Elm by Tana French. And I believe it's set in Ireland, and she's Irish.
Yeah.
This is not part of the Dublin Murder Squad, which I'm glad of because I read the first one of those and I didn't love it. So I don't know. Have any of y'all read this one? Anybody out there?
I have. Yeah. Yeah.
Is
It's one of her. It's a standalone one.
Yeah.
It was okay. It wasn't my favorite of hers actually, but it was still pretty good.
Okay. And I have it on this little playaway. So if you guys haven't seen those, you get them from the library. It's a little MP3 player. It's the audiobook. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. All right, Sarah, what have you got for Irish?
I have Dead in Dublin by Katie Murphy. I have not read this yet, but it's on my Kindle to get to. The cover just makes me happy. It's just so cute and so adorable. And I'm like, it's a Dublin driver mystery, and it's a cozy mystery series. So I am first in the series, so I'm looking forward to getting to this series at some point. But and it takes place in Dublin. So There we go.
Cool.
Right,
I have The Irish Cairn Murder by Dicey Deer. I haven't read this one either, but I pulled it off my shelf because it is Irish. It is a Jory Junit mystery, I think. Has anybody ever read any of these?
I've never heard of it.
They could be pretty old, but it's 2002. But it's set in a small Irish village, and I guess it's Tori Tunnett. Sorry, it had this fancy scroll type writing there that I thought was J's, but it's T's. She's an American translator who is over in Ireland, and so they're set in an Irish village, and I guess she just gets involved. This one, I don't know anything about it, but it is set in Ireland, so there you go. I might actually add it to my list and read it this month, and we'll see.
Awesome. I forgot to mention one that I used to own, but I loaned it to somebody and I didn't get it back, which, is a thing. Buried in a Bog by Sheila Connolly. I did show a Sheila Connolly different series, but she's got a series set in Ireland. It's about an American whose grandmother was Irish. And so when her grandma dies, her grandma's dying wish was for her to go to Ireland. So when she gets there, she realizes that she's inherited some things and all that. So, and she ends up staying. So that's a pretty good series. I've read the first couple of those.
I read a few in that series too. Those ones are fun. Yeah.
All right, Laura, what'd you have for Irish?
I don't have any.
Nothing? Okay. Not a problem. Jen, do you have anything?
Yeah, I realize I don't read a lot of things by Irish authors. However, I'm going to dodge here and point to Hellblazer, which is a long-running comic series that is primarily a horror comic, but it has heavy investigative elements. And in the mid-range of that series, the section that was written by Garth Ennis, for anybody who follows that series, the main character has a girlfriend who's from Northern Ireland. And so it deals, again, because, I like the serious issues, they deal a lot with 1990s Belfast through the character of the girlfriend. So you have a horror comic with investigative elements, with commentary on
Wow.
Northern Ireland before the Good Friday Agreement. So
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. See what I mean about Jen? She talks about all these things that are so over my head, and I learned so much. That's so cool. And since she pointed behind her, I forgot to mention, I didn't point behind me. In case any of you guys who watch my channel regularly, you may have realized that this is a different location. I have shown my shelves before, but I figured it would be kind of appropriate that I am in my utility room, which is where my mysteries are. This is my cozy mysteries. Those are not mysteries, but here and then down below are my hardcovers. So they're a mess. They're not in any sort of order, and I have more than what will fit here, but some are have been pulled out for videos and whatnot. So anyway, that's why I'm in a different location, because I thought it would be appropriate to sit in front of my mysteries for this video. Okay, so the next two are for the word mystery. So for the first prompt, we want everybody to share their most anticipated mystery for this month. And then also, well, actually, is that the first one? I think the first one is to share a mystery that you love, that you would recommend, and then share your most anticipated mystery for the month. Yeah, so recommend a mystery you loved, and then show a mystery you're greatly anticipating. So we can go ahead and do both of those as we go around. And so for me, my favorite cozy mystery of last year was State of the Onion by Julie Heisey. I love this so much, and I can't even pinpoint why. One thing I will say, though, that I think was fantastic, because it's a White House setting, the United States White House, and it's about it starts out, she's the assistant executive chef. It's completely nonpartisan. So you don't have any idea what political party that the president is from. And I have the first 6 of these, but I've only read the first one. But we read this for my mystery book club last summer. And several of the other people in my book club who are faster readers than me, the library was closed. And so I'm like, well, hey, I've got the first 6 of these books. So we just started trading them around, because, they couldn't get anything new from the library. And one of the ladies who read several of them said that throughout the whole series, you still don't know what political party the president is. And I think it even changes presidents at one point, and you still don't know. So I thought that was so smart of the author to write it in such a way that she didn't alienate half of her potential readers.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought that was brilliant. There are a few things that happened that I think, okay, really, because I'm pretty sure that some of the things that happen would not get past Secret Service at all. But, it's the fun of it. And I was totally, the actual mystery, I was completely off guard. I did not figure it out, and it was great. This has moved to the top of the list of my favorite cozy mystery of all time. I think it's fantastic. Now, keep in mind, I haven't read the rest of them, but I would highly recommend this first one, State of the Onion by Julie Heisey. And then the one I'm most excited to read is the one that Di is reading for the Book One Cozies Club. I mean, this is stinking cute. The inside scoop. Look at that with the skull and the ice cream. That's just awesome. And it's got a cat on the cover. I'm pretty sure this is on Hoopla on audio. So I'm excited about this, and I love it. So that's my most anticipated, and I'm anticipating this one too. But anything about ice cream, that's like my favorite snack of all time is ice cream. So, all right, Sarah, go ahead.
So I'm going to go with, for my favorite, is probably the first what I would consider real mystery that I read. And, Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. This was just, I have to reread it. It's been so many years. I have to reread it because it is just so good. And I did buy a copy of The Wife Upstairs by Rachel Hawkins, which they're saying is a play off of this one. It just came out in January. So I want to read that one too. It was inspired by Rebecca. So, and last year I read Jane Eyre for the first time. Good for me for reading a classic. And I saw so many elements.
Because you don't read a lot of
No,
classics.
I don't. And I'm like, oh, she borrowed so much from Jane Eyre for this one too, So it's just kind of neat to see the way that happens. but
Yeah.
by far, I loved this book so much. And as for anticipated, this one just came out. It was not on my March TBR list, but when you've got 31 books, why not add another one? Quiet Inner Bones by Nalini Singh. It's a thriller. Takes place in New Zealand. It's about a woman who goes missing, and 10 years later, they find her bones. That's all I know about it, and I'm totally intrigued. So, yay.
Yeah.
Looking forward to those.
Awesome. I'm going back to look at some of the comments. Let's take a comment break real quick to see some of the comments. A lot of people are commenting about cozies. And, oh, Matt, did you see, I don't know if this was, it was Becky. She says, you just can't go wrong with love goddesses from pagan sex cults.
You can't. That's like the thing you got to do. So it's all good.
Right?
And she says that they hated the Dublin Murder Squad. So bleak. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm not about depressing books at all. And you did read Buried in a Bog. That's awesome. Yeah, I enjoyed that. So Lisa G says she loved Murder Squad, the Dublin Murder Squad. And it's you can love it or hate it, and that's the beauty of the fact that we have so many books. And I tell my book club, because don't you think sometimes if you're ever in a book club situation, if you hated a book and you're sitting there and everybody else says they loved it, do you feel like you're like, oh,
what did I miss?
That I hated it? I think you totally should.
That's how most books
You
go with
should
me.
say, I hated that with all passion, because that's what makes a fun discussion. Then you can talk about why you loved or hated it. So never be shy to express your opinion. And somebody from our book club one time said, if you're sitting at a book club and everyone says they loved a book, someone's lying.
Yeah.
True.
Yes.
Yeah,
So Lisa,
half of them hate it and half of you love it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So don't feel bad if we're all sitting here saying we hated something and you loved it, speak up, tell us why you loved it. So yeah, Lisa, you said all the books are different. That's good to know, because I read the first one and then I looked at the second one and I realized it was all different people. And I wondered if it was going to have a similar tone or if it was going to be, how different or same it was going to be. So I might still give it another try.
Yeah.
So
they're not all as dark as the first one. The first one was quite dark in tone. But what I liked about the series, how she does it, is that each book features a different detective on the squad. So you get new and different characters each time, but there's some connection. So the second book in the series features the partner of the main character from the first book. Okay. So there's always that connection, but it's new and different. And so, and they're not all quite as dark as the first one.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah.
So Donna from Studio in the Library says that she has a recent purchase on her shelf, Shamrock Tea. How do you say that? Karen Carson? Green cover, Irish culture, and folk tales. Oh, that's awesome. That's perfect for March. Very cool. And and here Lisa G said she looked up. I thought for a minute you said that you loved it, but you looked up Shamrock Tea and it looks really good. So anyway, hello, Catherine Stevens from North Carolina. And let's see. So Donna says her most anticipated is The Dry by Jane Harper. All right. I have not read that. Have any of y'all read that?
I have.
Dry?
It is so good. It's so good. Yeah. It's set in Australia, and it's about a man who is a police officer. I forget what his job is. He's got like a unique kind of, like, he's in like financial crime or something. I can't remember, but he goes back to his hometown because a friend of his from childhood, his entire family was killed. And then his friend also was killed. And so he goes back for the funeral and then gets involved with like what happened. It's in a really small town. And then you also find out that there were events from their past that they are looking into. Someone disappeared and they need to find out there's some connection to the current day events. But what's so great about her writing is that it takes place during a drought. and it's been for like a few years, and like the way she writes, you can taste the dust in your mouth, you know, like everything is so dry, and it, you know, that any little spark will start a fire, and you know, everything's dried up and the ground is just dusty, and like it's just so atmospheric. It's really really good.
Yeah, I had to throw this comment up here. Scott says, I know what I hate and what I hate less.
That's good.
All right, Amber has a question. She says, what are your thoughts on the way book clubs are portrayed in movies and TV shows? Okay, that's so funny. That's a great question. My husband and I watched that movie of the older four actresses called The Book Club. Jane Fonda and who was it? Diane Keaton, was it?
I think so.
I don't remember. I don't know. I mean, those ladies, there was just a social club, you know. So yeah, I think a lot of times book clubs are portrayed as just a social club, and you know, they could care less about the book. But
I joined BookTube because I just thought we were going to drink champagne all day. That never happened.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, do any of y'all have any thoughts on that? Have you ever read a book about a book club or any movies?
I think a lot of them turn out to be like very similar to, you know, like you said, they're a social thing. They're not necessarily a book club the way we think about it. It's the same with a knitting group. When I read the Friday Night Knitting Club, yeah, they were knitting, but I don't know how much they actually knit because they spent most of the time talking and all that stuff, you know? So it's more of a social thing, I think.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a social aspect to book clubs.
Oh, absolutely.
Any book club that I've been part of is about the books. Like people are there to talk about the books for sure. And that's always a really important part of it. So as much as you know, it can be really social, for me anyway, it's always been about the books.
So Amber says the way they aren't taken seriously and made fun of, and the joke is just a reason for people to get together. Yeah, there is definitely some of that, but I think that, you know, and there probably are some book clubs that are like that. It kind of runs the whole gamut. Like Janelle said, she's been in book clubs that are all about the books. And even my library book clubs are kind of half and half. You know, we talk about the books, but we also just enjoy socializing as well. So, because otherwise you just sit home and read alone, you know. If you don't want to socialize at all, then don't join a book club, you know. So there has to be, I think you need to enjoy the social aspect, but yeah, it's good to be able to take it seriously. So Becky, is this Becky that says, we all know knitting clubs and book clubs are for nothing more. Oh, Becky. Oh, my goodness. Y'all be sure, if you're watching this, be sure you go on and watch the Bookish Bryants tonight. They are just BookTube's cutest couple. I love them so much. And if you have not subscribed to them, then you definitely should. They're so much fun. And okay, where did we get to? I didn't mean for us to take that big of a break. All right, Laura, I think we're up to you. What is your most anticipated? Me. Oh, you didn't do? Oh, okay. I didn't finish you. Sorry.
Don't miss me.
Okay, sorry. Okay, you're next then.
Okay, so I'm sticking with I had to look for cozies here. So here was a cozy that I really loved. It's called Picture Miss Seaton by Heron Carvick. This is actually from 1968. It's the first in the series. Wow. So it's a cozy mystery series from the UK, and Miss Seaton is a retired art teacher. She lives in a small village. What's great about this series is Heron Carvick wrote 5 or 6, I think, and then he passed away. And then 2 other writers took up the series in succession and added more to it. And then they came up with pseudonyms themselves that were also like HC pseudonyms. So Hamilton Crane and I forget what the other one was. Anyways, but what's great about Miss Seaton is she's a retired art teacher who lives in a small village, but she doesn't suffer fools gladly, and I don't think she realizes quite the situations that she gets herself into. So this very first book, she's gone into the big city, into London, to go and see a play at one of the theaters, and she's coming out and she's thinking about the play. I think it was like The Duchess of Malfi or something. So it's like one of those like really violent plays. I think it's like a Jacobean one. I don't know, but like someone gets strangled in the play. And so anyway, she's thinking about this, and she walks past a couple in a doorway, and she notices because they seem to be having a fight. And so she's kind of like making sure that the girl's going to be okay. And then she thinks the man is about to assault her, to like hit her. And so Miss Seaton grabs her umbrella and totally starts poking the guy in the back, like, hey, leave her alone. Wow. And not realizing that the guy had actually just stabbed her in the belly. And so he gets away. And then Miss Seaton, of course, has to go to the police. And so, but her and her trusty umbrella are actually a great part of this series.
Oh, that sounds fun.
They are cozies, despite that first part. They are cozies, and they're actually quite funny. I really like them. She's a great character, and like kind of just gets herself involved, despite the fact that it might be actually quite dangerous for her. Wow. And so the police end up actually, throughout the series, they end up kind of hiring her, using her to do drawings for them. So rather than like you know how they'll get an artist to do like the picture of a face of a suspect, she goes further and she'll draw whole scenes that end up having connections. So like, you know, all the stuff's going around in her mind and it comes out in her drawing, and the police will look at it and they'll make connections and clues to the cases because of what she's drawn. But anyway, yeah, they're very entertaining. I highly recommend it if you can find any Miss Seaton. And then a book that I'm anticipating, this isn't one that I'm highly anticipating for the month. I forgot that we were supposed to do that. So this is just a cozy that I'm looking forward to getting to. And so this is Mrs. Mallory and A Necessary End by Hazel Holt. I've only read one other by her, but I really liked them too. So this is a cozy, also set in England, and Sheila Mallory is, hang on a second. I keep forgetting what she is. Anyway, she is an amateur sleuth in a small village. And so, yeah, I'm looking forward to just kind of reading another one and getting more into the series, figuring out more about what kind of a sleuth she is. But I do remember really liking the first one that I read from here.
Awesome. Who's the author of the Miss Seaton one?
Yeah.
Who's the author of Miss Seaton?
The original author is Heron Carvick.
How do you spell that? I'm looking it up on Goodreads.
Heron, and then it's Carvic.
Heron.
Carvic. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. Of course, you're calling them cozy mysteries. That, of course, if it was the 60s, that's before cozy mysteries was even a thing. But yeah, I mean, still, we can look back and totally still, you know, separate that out into that subgenre. But yeah, I think the term cozy mystery is relatively new, like from the last 20 years.
Oh, really? Okay.
I think. Yeah. I mean, I don't think we called them that way back in the 60s.
No, probably not. Although it's got all the elements, right? Like the amateur sleuth, the small town, you know, little sex and violence. And this one, I don't know if they all do, but this one definitely has humorous elements to it and quirky characters too. It's definitely,
it looks like there are some new
quirky
additions.
Characters. Yeah.
It looks like on Goodreads there's some new additions. So apparently, you know, it's made a comeback, so that's good.
Oh, well, it's well worth it. They're really entertaining.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, Laura, are you ready? Your most anticipated and one you recommend.
Okay, the one that the most anticipated one, I'll do that one first since I have the book in front of me. I can't wait to read this one. It's called Out, and I have the audiobook that I found on my Audible app. So I can't wait to read this one. It's about a woman who has an abusive husband, kills him, and then she asks her coworkers to hide the body or whatever. It sounds really interesting. Sounds interesting. So I can't wait to read, listen to this one and read this one. So
she must have a good relationship with her coworker if she can
I'm gonna
ask him to
say.
find his dead body.
really good. So I've had for a really long time. So can't wait to read that one. As far as I can't get to my phone because I'm actually recording on. I'm talking to you now. My phone can't go downstairs to my journal, and so the only thing I can think of that something that I read before. I love reading books about memory loss. So the two books that I thought of about that is Before You Go to Sleep. And I don't remember the author's name. It's like he has initials and the last name starts with a W.
Is that the S.J. Watson or something?
That's it. Yep. He's a great book about memory loss, and she keeps going and going, and it was good. It was good. And the second one that I about memory loss is Run, Jane, Run by Joy Felding. That was really good as well. It's also about memory loss. So,
and I never thought about memory loss being like a subgenre of a book that people would look for until I heard Laura talking about it. I was like, oh yeah, that is kind of a thing, you hear that's one of the cool things about BookTube is you hear people talking about their buzzwords or things they really like. And, it makes you think, oh yeah, I never even thought of that. I do like that, Yeah. Pretty cool. All right, Jen.
All right. Well, one thing that I really enjoyed reading a couple of weeks ago, and so I had to pick up the second and third, let's see if I can get this to show up, was Philippe Gaukler's Karlovsky, which is a political thriller, sort of like a Russian James Bond. And the first volume that I read last month was called The Oligarch, in which we have a prison break and you don't know what's going on. There's corporate spying. What politics are going on in the background as this guy is running from Russia to Finland through the snow? And so I have volumes 2 and 3 that I'm planning to read this month. And if anybody's library has Hoopla access, these are all on Hoopla. So read along with me if you're interested in it.
Under graphic novels?
Yes.
Okay.
So
Who was the author again?
Philippe Gaukler.
Okay. Sorry, I keep freezing up. I just realized I had like a million windows open on my computer and I closed a bunch of stuff. So I'm hoping that it'll stop doing that. All right. Did you tell us both?
Yeah, because I read and loved volume 1 and I'm looking forward to and anticipating.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Awesome. All right, Matt, what about you? Most anticipated, one you recommend? I think you're freezing up. Either that or you may be muted. Try again now. Say something.
I think he's freezing up a bit, Matt.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. There you go.
Okay. Most anticipated. Both of these are going to be from Mahal. Oh, dang it. Anticipated.
Oh, shoot. We lost him. All right. We lost you. As soon as you can come back, we'll catch up with you. All right. So let's move on to the next one. And then when he comes back on, he can show us the rest of his. So for the last 2 prompts, since the word madness could, signify a type of psychological issue, the prompt is to pick a book featuring a psychopath. And I would say also it could be a sociopath or maybe even a book featuring a psychologist or psychiatrist. So we could even expand it a little bit. And I don't have one to show you. One I think I even said in one of my videos that when I first did this tag is the Brandon Walker series by J.A. Jantz that definitely features a psychopath. Maybe, I don't know, psychopath and sociopath are I don't know exactly the difference, but Sociopath, maybe you don't know when you meet them that something's wrong. Is that one of the definitions? And a psychopath, you kind of like know from the beginning. I don't know. Anyway, the Brandon Walker series by J.A. Jance is a series where you know who the bad guy is from the beginning, and you watch him do these terrible things to people. And as a reader, you know who the bad guy is, but you watch it all unfold, and you watch how he's able to elude the detectives and how they are able to, finally get a hold of him and that kind of thing. So it's not technically a mystery, definitely a crime series. And there are some twists and things that you don't see coming. So that one is one that I recommend. One that features a psychiatrist or psychologist that I don't really like is The Silent Patient. So, and that one because he would probably be a sociopath, I think, the bad guy in that one. So I don't know if you guys have read that or not.
Oh,
but anyway, so let's just go around and do that one, and then we'll come back for the last one. So
the one that I picked is the same one that I actually picked the first time I did this tag, because I was
okay.
I went back and looked. I went, oh, it's the same book. So
that's okay.
No Darker Place by Deborah Webb, because this book, you get the serial killer's perspective, but you don't know who he is. And there's scenes where he's like shaving his head, and he doesn't leave any evidence, and it's just hair on the back of your neck standing up, creepy. And it was so well written. It was so good. And I usually don't gravitate towards this. There was a lot of violence in this book, but it was written in such a way that it was still creepy, but I could handle it, to put it mildly. So it was really good. I highly recommend.
Hey, you guys, my sister's here. It's Charla.
Hello, Elizabeth.
My sister's here. Yay. I don't know if she's ever gotten to come and watch a live show when it's actually live. So that's cool. She's in, I think, 2 of my videos. They're from way back. Once when she was visiting me, and we did like old lady recommendations video. And then there was another video where I was at my brother's house for Thanksgiving, and they were both in the video, and we did like a book cover challenge. And surprisingly, my brother knew more of the books than I thought he would because he had seen the movie. He does read, though. Both of them are on Goodreads and everything. So awesome. I'm sorry. I just happened to see, and she's like, hi. I was like, oh my goodness. Okay. So an interesting thing, we were talking about cozy mysteries and what they were called. Donna from Studio in the Library says in the early 90s, they were first called Mal Domestics, and then alternatively called cozy mysteries, Mal for malicious. So that's cool. Interesting, Donna. I did not know that. That's an interesting factoid. Very cool. All right, so where did we get to? Jeanette.
So this was tricky because I had made my decision to try and find all cozies for you, Elizabeth, and then I was like, what cozy mystery has a psychopath in it? That's not going to work out. But
there might
then
be some.
I found Royal Blood by Reese Bowen. Now, this is from her Royal Spinus series. Now, you'll have to go with me here. She travels to Transylvania for a friend's wedding in this book, and there are potential vampires. And so I thought, I guess a case could be made that Dracula or vampires are psychopaths. So let's go with that. Sure. So this yeah.
Awesome.
So I was pretty proud of myself for that, actually. I was like,
absolutely.
It's sort of a connection.
Good job. All right, Laura.
Okay, out of the top of my head, I could only think of You, and I don't know the name of the author because I don't have my books. My red books are downstairs. My to-be read behind me. So
is it Caroline Kepnes?
Yeah. So yeah,
I haven't read it, but
and he I listened to it on audiobook. The audiobook is amazing because he keeps on saying you, and it's really good. And the TV show is as well as good. So yeah, they didn't really change anything. I like when they don't change things. I hate when when you read a book and they change things. I hate that.
Yeah.
So, Laura, let me ask you, since you mentioned the TV show, because my daughter, she's now 17, she was 16 until just like last month, and she said something about watching that, and I was like, oh no, I don't think so. And
Walker, so I don't know. I
yeah,
have kids watch it yet, and they're 16, so.
Yeah, that's what I was going to get your opinion, since you've seen it. Would you let your kids watch it? So I'm afraid she already may have seen some of it. And, I mean, I can't shelter her forever, but I'm like, I just don't see that being appropriate. There's plenty of other good things you could watch.
Yeah.
All right, Jen.
All right. So my pick is, frankly, this whole series, but I'm going to go with the first one. Is it going to show up? Oh, maybe it won't. Shame. But it's Addie Tantama's Ravi P.I. series, which is a series that is set in London among private investigators for the rich and famous. But the main character, Ravi, hallucinates Hindu gods, and he had a nervous breakdown, and he's just, whatever, he's going to hallucinate his Hindu gods. And his girlfriend is also a rapist. So they're not... Yeah, it's weird. You read it and you think, wow, these people are, what? What? But it's really hilarious. It shouldn't be, but it is. So it walks this line. This is definitely the reverse of a cozy mystery.
Yeah.
But the whole series is, if you can go with it, it's very entertaining. If you can't, I think that is fair. But it is wild. It's definitely a wild ride.
Oh, that's neat.
So my sister says the Maggie Sefton knitting mysteries, and they are definitely cozy. She says they have some pretty dark bad guys that you might consider psychopaths. And I've read, I'm up to maybe book 9. In fact, I'm going to try to read it this month in March. So I didn't remember who the bad guys were. So thanks, Charla, for that. So I didn't bring it in here to show it, but the one I'm up to next is called Unraveled. And they're knitting mysteries. Have you ever read any of those, Sarah?
I read the first one.
Yeah. Did you like
it?
It or
okay.
no?
Yeah, it was all right. My issue, and I should do a whole video on this with like crafting cozy. There's not enough crafting.
Oh, yeah. That's true. And one of the things it always talks about without fail in every book is she'll walk through the yard store and she has to touch everything. I'm like, okay, we get it.
Or the other thing I've noticed too is like with some of them that I've read is the main protagonist, the amateur sleuth, is not a crafter. They inherited the shop from their aunt, or they yada yada, and they weren't. I would love to see someone who's like a veteran knitter, who's you know what I mean, like. I don't know. I'm just nitpicking at this point.
All right. Donna says, Hour of the Hunter by J.H. Chance came to mind immediately. Yeah. So that's the series I was talking about that has the psychopath. And I think, Sarah, in the clue tag, was there one about ritualistic killing?
Yes.
Yes. So I was thinking of this for that too. Yeah, it is chilling. Definitely. So, my sister says, she agrees, not enough crafting in them. Yeah, she's a quilter, and so she will read different series that have to do with quilting, but she'll tell me, she's like, yeah, but there wasn't really any quilting in it. It was just, little mentions of quilting, but not. All right, so Terry says, the first Aurora Teagarden cozy mystery had a sinister pair of killers who targeted the group. Ooh, so would you consider them psychopaths or sociopaths? I have not read that. I kind of got, see, that's Charlene Harris, right? And I was thinking that all of hers were supernatural, but and so that's kind of why I steered away from them, because I'm not all that into supernatural. Although I do have a couple of series that I have read, like Aunt Dimity and stuff. But am I correct in thinking that Aurora Teagarden is not supernatural? Does anybody know? Anybody in the comments, maybe?
No idea.
So Becky says, Charlene writes some creepy psychos. So Terry, is Aurora Teagarden supernatural, or is it not? I'm just curious to know, because Candace Cameron Bure plays her in the TV series, right? And she doesn't really strike me as the type that would do something supernatural. It says it is straight up not supernatural. Okay, cool. Yeah, good to know. Good to know. All right, good deal. But that same author does have some that are, so very versatile. That's good. All right, where did we get to? We're back up to Matt, and he didn't make it back. He must be having some internet issues. So Matt, if you're hearing us, we miss you, and maybe you can. I think they do have a full group for the Bryants, but he's gonna, in case anybody has to leave early from that one, he was gonna be waiting in case they needed somebody to fill in, because a couple people thought they might have to leave early. So you might see Matt again on the Bryants live show tonight. Okay, and the last one is what I have discovered seems to be the hardest one for people, because March Mystery Madness is a play on words from March Madness. The prompt there is to come up with a book that features some kind of sporting event. And so it is kind of a hard one, because people who read mysteries don't necessarily read books about sports. I have this one, though, and I mentioned earlier, Catherine from Jane Catherine on Books. She sent me a box of books all the way from the UK a couple of years ago, and I have not read this yet, but this is by Simon Brett, and it is called Blood at the Bookies. So while it's not necessarily about a sporting event per se, it is about people betting on sports events, and people certainly do bet on March Madness, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
Not that I do. I'm not a gambler, but anyway, I had this on my shelf, and so I thought, oh, okay, well, this is horse racing, I think, and
yeah,
so I think it counts.
Totally.
And I think, yeah. So so that is my offering for that prompt. What else have you guys got? Anything?
So I actually have, because I looked back at the original tag, and I think you had said sporting event or recreational activity.
Yes.
So this one I plan on reading this month, A Matter of Circumstance by Heather Graham. She's a scuba diver.
Oh, awesome.
There you go.
Also, you really want to stretch it. It's a romantic suspense, so there's probably going to be extracurricular, recreational activities between them.
Now let's be careful about the type of recreational activities we're talking about.
I wouldn't go with a sporting event, but no, but she's a scuba diver, so I'm going to see what I think about that one.
Awesome.
So I had some ideas for this, but then I realized I have to stick with the cozies, because that was the rule I made for myself. She
impugned that on herself. I did not tell her she had to do that.
I know. But I take my own self-imposed rules very seriously. So
all right, very good.
I found Expose by Hannah Dennison. This is from her Vicky Hill series. So this is a cozy mystery series set again in the UK. It's in a small town called Gipping on Plym, which frankly is the most English sounding town name. But Vicky Hill is our reporter. Yeah, she's a journalist, a reporter for the town newspaper. And in this particular one, she is set to report the story of the snail races. So
as one does.
Racing, that is a recreational activity.
That's
I don't
awesome.
think it's a sport, maybe, but it's a recreational activity. And then of course, somebody gets murdered. One of the coordinators, I think, gets murdered. Anyway, this is a fun little series, and it's actually a really short one. There's only 4 or 5 in the series, but again, a cute little cozy series. So if you're ever into snail racing, sounds super exciting, fast paced, right?
So Becky says there aren't enough recreational activities and cozies, and that's true. I mean, joking aside, because you can almost think of just about anything, and there is a cozy mystery series for it, but there's really not, like, somebody should write like a football cozy mystery or a tennis themed cozy mystery or something. I'm surprised that there's not, because that's like a whole different direction that cozies could go in.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
Catherine says her most anticipated is The Butterfly House by Catherine Ingberg. Katrine Ingberg. Ooh, that sounds good. Yeah. Is that
another from the same series, Catherine? I read The Tenant actually just last month. Well, this month, February.
What type
so
of
this is a series, Copenhagen. The one that I read is set in Copenhagen. And so if the Butterfly House is the same series, it's about a pair of detectives on the police force in Copenhagen. It's translated from the Danish. And it was really good. So I'm curious about this Butterfly House. Catherine, is it from that same series? I think the detective's name was Juna. No, Yep, wasn't it? Jeppe was his first name anyways, I think.
Catherine, if you have the answer to her question, let us know if it's from the same series that she thinks that it is. I'm not familiar with it at all. So, awesome. All right, where did we get to? Who's up next? Is Laura up next? Did you go, Janelle?
I did.
Okay.
Snail racing.
Okay, that's Go ahead, Laura. Do you have one?
Can't find any. I don't read about sports, so.
Well, I think I actually mentioned Theodore Boone one time in that because I believe he plays a sport because he's a teenager. So so you could use that one. I'm trying to think if he plays soccer or football or something like that. And it may be not even in the first one, but I think in at least one or two of the books, it talks about him going to practice. So that would count. All right. All right, Jen.
Well, see, I do read about sports, so I have an actual sports answer. So this is volume 3 in this series, but in volume 1 of Paul Cornell's Spirit Detectives, this is about a group of detectives in London who deal with supernatural spirit-based things. And in the first volume of this series, the person that they're looking for is the Witch of West Ham. West Ham meaning West Ham United, the football club. And it's set during the point when that team has moved to the Olympic Stadium after that was built for the London Olympics. And this is set, the witch, her magic is in the pitch where they play. And so the people are dying because she doesn't want them to move to the Olympic Stadium.
Awesome.
So
wow.
It is very sports focused.
Wow. Very
well
cool.
done, Jen.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, let me catch up with some of the comments. So, Amber, what are you talking about? That's a movie. Are you talking about the Aurora Tea Garden or a movie series? Okay, are you talking about Aurora Tea Garden? Because Becky had back here, she said when we were talking about Aurora Tea Garden, she said, "OMG, there's a TV series! I'm so excited!" And I haven't actually seen it. I've just seen. I think I follow her on Instagram, and I saw something that she posted about it. And so Donna says, not much of a sports person. I do like sports where humans and animals are competing together, like the Alaskan Iditarod. Oh yeah. So Murder on the Iditarod Trail by Sue Henry would be good. Yeah, that's a great idea. I love that.
And every horse story that every girl who's been a horse girl, they always have at least one mystery in all of those horses.
Right.
I think there's one called the Black Stallion Mystery. I should have thought of that because that's horse racing and a mystery. Yeah.
And Dick Francis, doesn't he write a lot of horse-themed mysteries?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Bryants say the Myron Bolivar series by Harlan Coben is sports-centered. Laura, have you read that series?
I have, yeah. Well, not all of it. That's the first one I thought of for this question, but it's not a cozy series at all.
Oh, right.
Myron Bolivar is a sports agent.
Okay.
And so you do get a lot of sports depending on kind of which of his clients are part of the story. So you get some wrestling and some basketball and some, so those are very sports heavy.
Is that what? I think Laura's got him there because Harlan Coben is from her home state. So she's got a bunch of them.
But I don't know which one's book one.
I can't remember.
But I have shelf of Harlan Coben because he's a New Jersey author. So I've been collecting all his books. So I know I would have to look it up to see which one to read first. But my whole shelf is all Harlan Coben right behind me here.
She did a Harlan Coben book last year for her read along, and I read it. It was really good. That was my first Harlan Coben, and I enjoyed it. So yeah.
This one, but
all right.
Series, so.
Very cool. All right. So my sister says, I Googled the subject and got A Murder at the Country Club, a funny and sporting cozy mystery by Jessa Archer. Very cool.
There you go.
I didn't think about Googling it. Very good. And then Donna says, Scene of the Climb, Pacific Northwest by Kate Dyer Seeley, who's also Ellie Alexander, about extreme climbing. So Courtney, I believe, is going to be on the Bookish Bryants tonight, and she talks a lot about Ellie Alexander. So she might perhaps bring that up. So very cool. Oh, and Charlotte says the one she's talking about got 4.5 stars. So that's awesome. All right. What else? Did everybody go now? Everybody did the sports? And we didn't hear back from Matt. So Matt, if you can make it back on in time to say goodbye, please do. Otherwise, maybe we'll see you tonight. So tonight on the Bookish Bryants, you're going to see Di from Disis19 Hearts. You're going to see Courtney, the Courtagonist, Tim, from the World of Sleuths, and Alicia, the Pretty Brown Eyed Reader. And I feel like I'm missing one. Let's see. Oh, and I already closed out that window. But anyway, we just, we wanted to try to introduce you to as many of the hosts as possible. Also, be sure that you are subscribed to Sarah, because she is going to be putting together a montage. All of the hosts put together like a little 1-minute video introducing us. So I know, it's a lot. You look at the list and you're like, 15 hosts. I don't have time for that. So check out the video when Sarah puts that up. And also this, I think, is a great way to get to know more of the hosts and maybe see who you might have more in common with. I mean, we would love for you to subscribe to everyone. But the whole idea of March Mystery Madness, the madness of it all, is to have all these hosts who read a lot of different kinds of mysteries, because there's so many. And even if you just come out of this finding 1 or 2 new booktubers that you totally can relate to and are just going to love and support, then we've done something here. So so that's good. And that is about all I have. Let's go around. Anybody want to add anything else or have anything you want to say? Sarah?
Just excited about March.
Yeah.
Janelle, are you doing a read along?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not hosting a read along or anything.
Okay.
I figured I've got enough going on with doing a video every day.
Tell us again about your game that you're doing. It's connected with your videos, because you're doing a video every day, right?
Right. And so the game is just a way on my channel. It's just a way to find. It's to find a book that matches the criteria, right? So, for example, I could choose a couple M&Ms that would tell me that the book has to have a detective duo in it, and then I would choose another 2 M&Ms and say, and it has to be set in a hotel. So then the game is, can you find a mystery that has a detective duo and it's set in a hotel? So it's just fun. And then if you do it yourself, if you want to download it, it's just a kind of a fun game way to choose your next read.
Awesome.
So each video I'll play the game and have the 2 criteria. And I'm just going to ask people to put in the comment section, if they can find a book that fits that criteria. So it's just a fun little, and then plus
so that starts tomorrow.
So why not? Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. So my tomorrow video is actually going to introduce that game. So you'll see me playing it for sure.
Also, another game is hosted by Di, and it's going to be on Instagram, and she introduced it. It's already up on her Instagram page. And so once this uploads, I will add a lot of information to the description. But her channel is Disis19 Hearts, or Disis19 Hearts, sorry. And I believe it's the same on Instagram, and I probably won't be able to explain it correctly, but it's kind of a link the clues. Do y'all remember the name of it now? I'm so sorry,
Next the clues.
What is it
Yeah,
again?
it's Connect the Clues.
Connect the Clues. That's it. So hashtag Connect the Clues. And so like in her one sample post, she put up 2 books and you had to try to guess what connected those 2 books. So you can play along, you can do your own, I believe, and you can, you know, do the hashtag Connect the Clues and look at what everybody else is posting. And I think each day is she going to come up with different, like a different
Yeah,
themes
so I
or
think
something?
she's gonna post a picture of a book, and
Okay.
then to play along, then you post a picture that has some connection to that book.
Okay.
It could
Okay.
have the same word in the title, something similar on the cover.
Okay.
Anything that
Okay.
connects the two. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it sounds awesome. And I'm super excited about that. That's going to be great. So that is, and rather than having a separate March Mystery Madness Instagram challenge, Di is doing that. So that's the March Mystery Madness Instagram game. And it's hosted by Di. So check her page out for that. And if you're not following her on Instagram, be sure you do that. Trying to think if there's something else. So I think we are not going to do reading sprints on Twitter unless, you know, at least 3 or 4 people tell me that they really want to. I was doing last year, I was getting up because I tend to get up at 5 in the morning and read. And that was kind of cool because I was able to, the few people that were reading with me were from the other side of the world because it was like already midday. And so that was kind of cool. And, what I might do is maybe, I don't know, I may not advertise it, but I might still do that. It was on Sunday morning. I would get up at like 5 a.m. and do some reading sprints. However, this year I am reading for the first couple of hours in the morning. I'm currently right now reading the Bible in 90 days, which is a lot. So I wouldn't be able to get to my mystery stuff at 5 in the morning. I would still be just doing my Bible reading. So what I am going to do for sure is my noontime reading sprints on my channel. It'll be every Tuesday, and it'll be, I said 11:35 to 12:30 because Emily signs off from school at 11:30. And so I need a little bit of time to like get her situated and then get back and sign on. So that's what I'm going to be doing. And then Di is going to be having on the Discord group Monday meetups. Those used to be on Twitter, and Discord is just so much easier for chatting and talking back and forth. So she's going to be using Discord for that. We still have the Mystery Madness Goodreads group. That's where my read along is going to be. Laura, your read along is on your Goodreads group, right? And
Yes.
Sarah, where is your read along? Is it on your?
It's pretty much going to be on the channel because it's not like a standard. We're reading this on this day. It's just read it throughout the month, and then
Because you don't still have a Goodreads group, do you? Did y'all change it to the?
No, we
Bookish,
changed it to the Book Sisters. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Well, if you wanted to, you could always do a chat room in the Discord about it if you wanted.
Yeah.
Or a Voxer group or whatever.
Or something. Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Yeah. Just let us know what you if you decide.
Okay.
Okay. What else? Janelle. Oh, so was that all you chatted about what you were doing? Laura, you have anything else you want to say? Or Jen?
Just
Anything
anybody
else?
who's interested in crime comics, watch me mid-month. We'll have some stuff going on for that.
Cool.
Oh,
awesome.
And I'm glad you said mid-month because there is going to be another live show from my channel on March the 16th, which is a Tuesday night, and it's going to be a cozy chat. And we're going to have all of the hosts who read cozy mysteries and possibly another booktuber or two, depending on who's available and all of that. But we're going to it'll be kind of a mid-month update as well as just chatting about cozy mysteries. So that's going to be on my channel, and you will see the announcement come up for that whenever I get that scheduled. Also, Sarah is having a live show on March the 6th, which is next Saturday. It's her birthday, so y'all be sure.
On the Friday.
Friday's her birthday, but the show is going to be on the Saturday. And I'm going to be traveling that day because Katie has a color guard competition, so I won't be able to see it until after the fact, but I'll definitely come back and watch it. So, well, if there's nothing else, thanks everybody for sticking with us. We're back up to 25, or is it 35? No, 25. it was 25 and then it went to 19 and now it's back up to 25. So thanks you guys for sticking with us for an hour and a half. I didn't know we were going to be on here that long, but I'm really looking forward to Scott and Becky's live show tonight. And I'm excited to see some of the other hosts. There are a couple of hosts that couldn't make it on for one of the live shows, but they will be featured in other videos throughout the month. So you'll see more of them as we go along. So thanks everybody for tuning in. Bye everybody. Everybody wave.
Bye.
You guys read a good book and God bless you.
Ciao.
Bye.